Ogni giorno The Boat Show vi porta a scoprire.
Every day, the boat show takes you on a journey to discover new places, new boats, new engines. Today, we're on board a FOCCHI inflatable boat to test the new Suzuki DF140B outboard engine.
Noi appassionati di barche a motore possiamo fare.
Can we motorboat enthusiasts do something for the environment? Of course, just as in cars, we can reduce fuel consumption and emissions thanks to technology. Although Suzuki has done something even more extraordinary. It has thought of collecting microplastics that are one of the main forms of pollution.
Durante il funzionamento, il fuoribordo raccoglie.
While navigating, the outboard collects a lot of water, which Suzuki filters to collect the microplastics, and then releases perfectly clean water.
Il 140 cavalli di Suzuki ha un blocco motore.
Suzuki's 140 horsepower has an inline four-cylinder engine block with a 2045cc double overhead camshaft and weighs 186 kilograms.
Il rapporto di compressione è piuttosto aggressivo.
The compression ratio is quite aggressive, 10.6 to 1, and then the combustion chamber has two flaps to optimize combustion.
Il circuito di alimentazione è a iniezione.
The fuel delivery system is a multi-point sequential fuel injection, meaning that the right amount of fuel is injected into every cylinder at all times.
Ai bassi regimi ha un rumore.
At low revs, it has a low, deep sound, not at all annoying. It does not rumble.
Questo è dovuto a un circuito di aspirazione.
This is due to an intake circuit with a special resonance chamber made just to not bother our ears too much.
Il sistema di aspirazione inoltre è composto da un doppio circuito.
The intake system consists of a double circuit to better separate the air from the water that might enter in the form of condensation or steam.
Il motore che proviamo ha i comandi meccanici, ma
the engine we are testing has mechanical controls, but obviously there is a version of the same power with electronic throttle, automatic trim, electronic key, basically all the latest technologies.
Un altro upgrade di questo.
Another upgrade of this new model is the ability to deliver a lot of electricity, up to 40 amps. Keep in mind that just above the idle speed, it is already capable of delivering 20 amps. By the way, I have reduced the gas because this rib planes right away. We're already in trim at 8 knots.
Pensando a coloro che useranno intensamente.
Thinking of those who will be using this engine intensively, Suzuki decided to improve the gear cooling circuit to have a lower temperature and make it last a very long time.
Incredibile, siamo a 16 nodi, consumiamo 8
It is incredible, we're at 16 knots and we're consuming 8 litres per hour, meaning that with an engine of this power, we travel 2 miles with 1 litre. Let me check if that's correct. Yeah, that's right.
Abbiamo un mezzo molto leggero, ma questo fuoribordo.
We have a lightweight, but this outboard was made to push even heavy-loaded boats. Not surprisingly, it has a double friction to reduce the propeller speed. One at the exit of the engine block, the other in the gear case.
In questa maniera abbiamo un'ogiva, una parte immersa del.
This way we have an ogive, a submerged part of the engine, that is much leaner in order to be able to run more. We also have the ability, with a high reduction ratio, to mount very large propellers, suitable precisely for those boats that weigh a lot.
Noi invece oggi abbiamo un gommone leggero. Il pesa solo 450.
On the other hand, today we have a lightweight rib that weighs only 450 kilograms. On board there is only Gigi and I, who together don't reach 150 kilograms. Plus we have about 50 kilograms of gasoline and the same amount of on-board and shooting equipment. Let's say that our setup is 700 kilograms.
Il resto FOCCHI è questo, gommoni leggeri.
This is FOCCHI. Light and sporty ribs without superfluous things, and although the hull is not very deep, they are made to navigate fast, even on rough waters.
Sebbene la carena non sia molto profonda,
Even though FOCCHI's experience in competitions dates back many years, it is always valid because waves haven't changed.
le onde non sono mica cambiate. Ora proviamo a verificare il funzionamento del...
Now we are going to test the lean burn control system. Let's increase the speed and get into a more aggressive trim. This way we can also avoid the wind to interfere with the microphone.
gas, trim.
Let's give gas, trim. The engines are at more than 5,000 RPM, yet it remains rather silent.
Rimane piuttosto silenzioso. Velocità 35
The speed is 35 knots and we're consuming 30 litres per hour.
Non accelero.
I'm not speeding up, I'm keeping a steady pace. Let's see what happens.
Ok, siamo scesi. 27.
Okay, we dropped at 27 litres per hour, 27.8 to be exact.
È un sistema
It is a multiple mapping system that lowers the carburation and allows us to consume less if we don't touch the gas.
Questo motore ha tre importanti.
This engine has three important sensors. That of the oxygen sensor, which controls the carburation. That of the engine knocking sensor, to avoid detonations that could be dangerous. And then that of the fuel water sensor, which is an equally dangerous situation for the life of the engine.
Il regime massimo di questo fuoribordo è
The maximum speed of this outboard is 6,300 RPM, full throttle.
secondo la migliore tradizione di FOCCHI.
As in the best FOCCHI tradition, it navigates perfectly on axis and it has a compensated hull. It is not like any other small rib. It is extraordinary. It holds its course perfectly. It is excellently balanced even though we only have one propeller and we should feel the effects of its rotation. But we don't.
E siamo tutti fuori.
And we are all out, full trim, 45 knots.
Ora, su un gommone di questo tipo, questa velocità.
Now, on a dinghy of this type, this speed and power are perhaps excessive. But if you like this engine, you must know that you can also have it at 115 or 100 horsepower.